Hello there, my name is Amanda May and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing the Under the Influence of Booktube tag. I originally saw this video on Shoshana's channel, so I will link her video down below. Definitely go check it out. But we are just gonna get straight into the questions. And they're long, so I'm gonna be reading on my computer. Don't mind me looking down here. So question number 1 is, what's a fantastic book you read off the recommendation of another booktuber? And oppositely, what's a book that you were talked out of reading because of another booktuber's review? Okay, so first up, a fantastic book that I read off of recommendation of plenty of other booktubers was the Mistborn trilogy, so books. The Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I've raved about it before on my channel. It's amazing, I love it. I think all of you should read it if you haven't already. It's just a really great adult high fantasy book. I have it, let's see. I don't know why I'm holding up the paperback. I also have the hardback that I got for Christmas. And it's so much prettier. But yes, this is a wonderful book. I encourage everybody who hasn't read it yet to go ahead and pick it up. You will not regret it. I could also continue. Strange the Dreamer. Wonderful. Read that because of Booktube. Probably never would have even read the synopsis had it not been for Booktube. So thank you, Booktube. Strange the Dreamer is wonderful. Here it is right here. This is the less attractive US cover. The UK cover is gorgeous, but it's expensive, so I get this. I got my husband to read it, so he's currently reading Strange the Dreamer. Actually, he's on the sequel, Music Nightmares, right now, so I want everyone to read it. Another one is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is a wonderful utopian novel. I was gonna say dystopian, but it takes place in what's really more like a utopia. It has its problems, but we're gonna go with utopian. This is wonderful too. Obviously, it won an award. Really thankful to Booktube for getting me to pick up all of these books. Now, what's harder is trying to figure out a book that I was talked out of reading. I'm gonna have to think about that for a second. Oh, you know what? Not hard. I got it. I got this. I was talked out of reading Sinlin Ascends. And I originally thought that I would want to read this based on other booktubers giving me the synopsis, and kind of, I caught their hype about it, but then a lot of other booktubers did read it, and their reviews made it kind of clear to me that I might appreciate the book, but I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as a bunch of other books that are on my TBR, so I was talked out of that one. Question number 2 is, has Booktube opened your mind or changed your mind about any genres? And it's definitely opened my mind to read more sci-fi, specifically space sci-fi. Before Booktube, really the only sci-fi I had been exposed to in book form was dystopian, but I'm slowly making my way into the space sci-fi realm of books. And while I've only read To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini, I don't know. I did really enjoy that, and I have a few other sci-fi books on my TBR for the near future, so slowly but steadily making my way into that genre. Question number 3 is, how much time did you spend on YouTube before Booktube, and how much time do you spend on it now? So really, I didn't spend any time on YouTube before Booktube. YouTube wasn't really a website that I frequented until I found Elliot Brooks's channel and really loved her videos, and she got me into Booktube. And I kind of got obsessed after that and found tons of people to follow. This was kind of early to mid 2020, and then by December 2020 I had my own channel. And now it's probably like 90% of what I watch on YouTube. It's mostly Booktube. There are a few other channels that I like to follow, but yeah, before Booktube, I didn't spend very much time at all on YouTube. And as far as how much time I spend on it, I spend a lot of time on Booktube or YouTube in general. I'll watch YouTube videos on my lunch break. I'll watch YouTube videos while I'm eating dinner. Like, I really like YouTube now. It's my main form of social media now. Question number 4 is, how many books did you read per month or per year before Booktube, and how many do you read now? This is kind of hard to answer because I went through a pretty long reading slump from pretty much when I started high school because high school forced me to read a bunch of books, and so I didn't have time to read anything else. And same with college. My workload in college was heavy enough that I didn't really have time to read, except maybe during summer vacation, although I almost always was taking classes in the summers as well. So I didn't read much for those, that would have been 9 years of my life. And then after college, I also had kind of a dry spell where I read, but not that much. Now, it would maybe be, I mean, it was a handful of books a year. And then when my husband got me into audiobooks, I would listen to audiobooks on my commute to and from work. So that was 1 to 2 hours a day. So that helped. My count per month per year went up from that, but it still couldn't hold a candle to. That's a saying, right? It didn't compare to how many books I read last year, which is when I found Booktube. Now I'm reading 6 to 8 books a month. That's probably what I'm averaging. 6 to 8 books a month. Way up from like 1 a month before on a good year. I'm really thankful to Booktube for that. It has reignited my love of reading. I think it's stronger than it has been since I was probably in elementary school, maybe middle school. So it's been really great, really great. Question number 5. Question number 5 is, has Booktube affected your book buying habits? And if so, are you pleased or displeased by this? Yes, okay. Yikes, we're gonna go there, okay. Yes, Booktube has affected my book buying habits. In order to read this many books, my dog is sitting right here. You wanna come here? Oh, yes. Hi. Hi, don't lick my makeup off. Hi, how are you? Nobody can see your pretty face. Do you want to turn so that, oh gosh, people can see your face? We're gonna take a brief intermission. Okay, back to the questions. Where were we? Oh yeah, book buying habits. So in order to read, sorry if you can hear my dog. In order to read as many books as I do, I buy a lot of books. I mean, I could get them through a library. We moved a couple years ago to a city that doesn't have quite as good of a library system as where we were before. I did use the library system before, but now I just don't. And I like to own any books that I read anyway, so it's not like that would keep me from buying books. It's just how I am. So to put it into a little bit of perspective, I read 55 books last year, and I don't think I owned any of those books beforehand. So I bought those 55 books last year. I also bought books that I have yet to read, so I really bought more than 55 books. And now I am doing monthly book hauls, and I'm sticking to a budget, but usually those book hauls contain anywhere from 4 to 6, probably 4 to 6 books every month. So I'm pleased with it because it means I get new books to add to my shelves. I don't think my husband is super pleased with it. He supports my love of reading. He supports me doing Booktube as a hobby, and he deals with it. I will say this, like, we can afford it. I'm not spending food money or mortgage money on books. I've worked it into our finances, so it's not like I'm being irresponsible. It's just I'm spending more money than we're used to spending. But yeah, Booktube made me do it. I blame Booktube. We're gonna move on. Question number 6 is, has a review by a Booktuber ever retroactively made you reconsider your stance on a book? I don't think so. not a lot at least. They might, I'll watch reviews by other booktubers of books that I've read, and they might bring up parts of the book or aspects of the book that I hadn't thought of or I hadn't critically analyzed or anything like that. And so my opinion could be swayed just a little bit in one direction or the other. But so far, a review has not made me like completely flip and change my mind from liking a book to not liking a book or vice versa. I'd say it's like a star's worth of change potentially from watching other booktubers' reviews and hearing what they thought about it, and if they noticed anything that I didn't notice or interpreted something in a way that I didn't interpret it that way. So maybe my rating could be adjusted by a star based on other reviews. But that's about it, and usually not even that much. Okay, question number 7 is long. It says, are there any videos you've been inspired to make after seeing another booktuber's videos? And have you ever felt inspired by another booktuber's style? Their video style, their book organization style, their personal style, anything. So the first question is, are there any videos you've been inspired to make after watching another booktuber's videos? And yes, of course. I feel like we're all inspired by each other. We all do very similar videos to begin with. I usually like this tag video. I wasn't tagged to do this video. I just watched it and thought it looked like fun. And so I'm making this video. I'm certainly not shy about making tag videos that I haven't been tagged to do. It doesn't bother me. So, and then have I ever been inspired by another booktuber's style? Their video style, their book organization, their personal style, whatever. So their video style, sure, definitely. Kind of like being inspired by video topics, I learn what I like and don't like by watching other booktubers and paying attention to how they're editing their videos. And I mean, some of the things they do I like, but I have no idea how to do it. So maybe someday my video editing skills will improve to the point where I'm able to mimic other booktubers' editing styles. I don't know. But then book organization, actually, I really like watching other people's organization videos and seeing how other people organize their bookshelves, but if it affects how I organize my books, it's very minimal. And usually it's only like if they have something that's really practical about how they organize their books, maybe I'll adopt that. But I don't know, I like the way I organize my books. So maybe originally I would have been more influenced by how other booktubers organize their books, but once I got mine organized the way I like it, it hasn't changed very much since then. And then their style, like, not really. I have my own style. I've always pretty much stuck to my own style. I don't try and emulate trends, really. Like, I feel pretty in what I like to wear and how I like to do my makeup and my hair, and that's all I really care about. So while I might be able to appreciate other booktubers' styles, I don't need to necessarily emulate them unless it is a true reflection of me as a person. If that makes sense. Okay, question number 8 is, what are some pressures you feel on your reading because of your channel? To read faster, because I want to read as many books as possible. And I feel like that's a pressure that a lot of people feel even when they don't have a Booktube channel. But if they watch Booktube, that's a common source of anxiety is, why can't I read as many books as this person? Or how does this person read so many books? And while I do try not to compare myself to other people because their life is different than mine. The demands on their time are different, whether it be higher or lower. Their energy, just in general, might be different. I'm a rather low energy person. So I don't compare myself to other booktubers, but I do want to read as much as possible. For personal reasons, I want to read all of the books, and there's not enough time to read all the books, so I try and read faster for that reason. But I also want to read a lot of books so that I can talk to y'all about them, and reading faster is a way that I can do that, so I practice. Also, another pressure is, it's not really avoidable, but editing videos takes me a long time. I'm not fast at editing. I do it on my phone, so it's like the small screen where I'm using my fingers on a touch screen to edit, and so it takes a lot of time, and it has to be, you know, taken out of my personal free time where I might otherwise be reading. So that's something that I struggle with just a little bit, is I have to make time for reading, but I also have to make time for filming, and I have to make time for editing after I've filmed, and that takes away from my reading time. And that's, I mean, I enjoy filming and editing, but I want to read as much as possible, and so it's a hard balance. But honestly, it's probably a good thing that I have something else that I'm making myself do other than read, or else I would literally read all the time. And that's not quite as fulfilling. Like this, what I'm doing right now, is very fulfilling. So overall, I think it's a good thing that I'm not just reading 24/7. Well, obviously I have to work and stuff, but that I'm not reading in all of my free time. It's good to have multiple hobbies. Okay, question number 9 is, in what way, if any, do you feel the social element of the community has impacted your reading? Do you think about books differently since joining? So again, multiple questions in a question, but the first one is, do you feel the social element of the community has impacted your reading? No? Honestly, I never really thought of reading as a social activity until Booktube. It's always been something that I just kind of do by myself, and I might have 1 or 2 friends who also like to read the same stuff that I do, or like to read in general. But other than discussing what kind of books we like, it's still more of an individual activity. Now I discuss books with all of you, and it really has become more of a social activity. Even though I'm reading the book by myself, there's always somebody else that's read the book. So I don't know about the social aspect of the community impacting my reading, but it's impacted my life. Does that make sense? Because I guess before I was perfectly fine reading my book, enjoying it by myself, and then not talking about it with anyone else because maybe nobody I knew had read that book. But now it's something that I want to do. I want to go out and talk to other people about books. And on this platform, I can, and that's a wonderful thing. So I guess Booktube has changed how I think about books, in that now I think of it as more of a social activity than I did before. Last question, question number 10. What influence do you hope your channel will have on the Booktube community and/or aspiring booktubers? So I guess first off, it's hard for me to think of my channel as influencing anybody, to be honest. But I would love it if I'm able to introduce great books to as many people as possible. I am personally really thankful for all of the recommendations that I get from Booktube for great books that I wouldn't have even necessarily known existed if it weren't for Booktube. And I think it'd be really great to be part of that, and I'm trying to be part of that in bringing awareness to others of books that I think are really great and helping other people find books that they think they'd really like. Additionally, it would make me really happy to be someone that others can come to talk about books with. I feel like it's really common that the people who are communicating on Booktube, they don't have people in their real lives, face-to-face lives, that love reading, and at least that love reading the same kinds of books that they do, that we do. I'm getting my pronouns all mixed up, but I feel like it's really common for people to not have book friends IRL, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't really have all that many avid reader friends. I have a couple. And so I'd love for my channel to be this safe place, this fun place where we can discuss books that we like, where we can give each other recommendations, and where we can kind of have that outlet of being able to talk about this thing that we're all really passionate about, but we don't necessarily get to talk about in real life. And lastly, as far as aspiring booktubers goes, I would love it if somebody would look at my channel and use that as inspiration for them to start their own channel, because this right here, this is something that I never thought I would do. Like, I might want to do it, but I never thought I'd actually do it, because I am not a super outgoing person. I'm very, very introverted, and putting myself out there is not something that I'm super comfortable with. And so this is so strange that I am doing this, but I haven't regretted it once. And it's been a lot easier than I thought it would be. I thought that there were all these barriers to having a Booktube channel, but like I film on my phone. I do have a light, which you don't need one, but I invested in a light, and that is all I've invested in. Having a Booktube channel is not as difficult as I guess I thought it was going to be. It takes a lot of time, and I have to prepare for videos, and then I have to film, and then I have to edit, and I have to read, but I read anyway, so I don't know. I'd love for aspiring booktubers to understand that this is something that you can do. If you want to do it, just do it. But that's it. I've been filming for half an hour so far, and I haven't even given you a quote yet. So we are going to move on to the quote of the day. This time I picked a quote from Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. It is the first book in the Monsters of Verity duology. I think it's the first book. This Savage Song is the first book. Our Dark Duet is the sequel. Just kidding. Anyway, the quote is, Kate wondered who was more addicted to their high, serial killers or coffee addicts? I just thought that was really funny. That's a hilarious comparison. Come on. And if you know Kate as a character, it's great. It's great. So I will leave you with that today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. And in any case, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to talk with you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.